It's time for Aldila Wellness once again, and Aldila Geldenhuis with me in studio again this morning. Last week we spoke about female body changes during pregnancy, and we said that we'll be covering procedures and measures to fix that this week. Now, we touched on plastic surgery, but it's not only breasts that tend to lose shape and firmness. We also have the tummy and of course the vaginal area.
Are we going this route now?
We're going that route now.
Okay, so if you have a doula and a good birth team, they will help you to prepare your southern parts for the process of birth. Now, if you have a C-section and you have birth via C-section, you have what they call in Afrikaans a afdakkie. So if the cut is here and your belly or your stomach area has to go back, there's always like a little bit
ridge.
of a ridge that's sitting there. So that is the aftermath of a C-section. When you have birthed your child normally, or the natural way, you can get hurt in that area. And if you prepare correctly and you prepare the area correctly, we can minimize the damage, but there's no guarantee how that birth is going to be. Every birth is different. And even women that have had more than one child have told me it was different with everyone.
Yeah.
Yes. So as much as we try to prevent and to support and to aid the body has a specific reaction during the birth because there's a lot of factors. So a lot of times women actually get damage in the vaginal or genital area. And this is a cause of great concern. Because if you think about the changes that your body goes through when you are pregnant, then having to birth this child, for 9 months your body changed, now you become a mother, and your husband did not go through these physical changes with you.
No.
He was there, he's the father, he planted the seed, but his body didn't change. He didn't carry that life inside of him for 9 months. So as a woman, you have to go through this process where you birth this baby, and then you have to go back to normal or back to the way you were, and your husband suffered with you during the pregnancy because as your hormones change, your intimate life changes, and now you could have gotten hurt in your genital area. And now you have to go back to an intimate life. Plus your body's not the way it used to be. You might feel shy or you might be self-conscious because everything changes. And now I'm sitting with emotional issues in the practice. They've gone through trauma and the marriage starts taking strain with a baby that doesn't sleep. It's just a vicious cycle.
People tend to not be intimate if they feel nauseous. And we know with pregnancy, that's the case.
Yeah.
Now, you and I have discussed this previously where we say humans, and that's not just males and females on their own, but together need to be intimate.
Yeah.
That's part of our DNA structure. Now, when we get to a pregnancy and a long period of not being intimate happens, there's a really big psychological thing that happens. The husband may feel he's not attractive anymore. She feels that, my body's gone through so many changes. I'm not 16 or 18 or 20 anymore. And then they start feeling that maybe we should be intimate while it's dark. Lights off.
I'm so happy that you are willing to have this hard conversation. Because people are very ashamed of the reality of life. So, I don't want to put you in the spot, but you are a man and I'm a woman, And I will tell you, I can talk to you from a woman's perspective and say to you, you know, Marius, if you've carried this baby and then you've birthed it and you have to go through all the bodily changes, and now your husband expects you to come back to life from where you were, and the baby is still probably breastfeeding, it's for a woman so difficult and intense to start splitting the two lives again, because before a child is born, I said in my book, the day a child is born, a mother is born. And to divide the mothering from still being an attractive goddess, sexy in the bedroom, versus your husband that just wants to be loved and held, and now there's competition in the house because there's a little baby that's number one. We have to talk about this because the men are suffering. And as much empathy as I have and compassion that I have for the woman, because I am a woman and I've been through it and I know what it takes, I also understand that if we are not in awareness of this whole process, this is where marriages take strain. Statistics actually show us that once a first child, a baby is born, the marriage is loaded with 60% more strain than before.
And then there's people saying that if you have a rocky relationship, you should have a baby.
I know.
That'll change it. But it's not really like that.
If you want to test a marriage, if you really want to test the strength of your marriage, have a baby. It can break it completely. It happened to me. I wrote about it in my book. It's not my baby's fault, but the strain and the stress a baby puts on a marriage and a household is so immense. If you are not prepared for it and you don't have a proper support structure and a support team, it will rip the family unit apart.
One must also consider that there's a lot of financial implications.
Yes.
Baby food's expensive, their nappy's expensive. When they grow bigger, start schooling, university, it just doesn't stop.
No. And what's so interesting, when I did my studies as a doula with Professor Barbara, she was fantastic. We had a whole section as doulas where she taught us, she called it the first 4 weeks at home. And as a doula, we actually had to support the new parents in saying, okay, I can come and be with a baby for an hour or an hour and a half, you two go and have a picnic in the garden. Just get to know each other again. Connect with one another. We were taught to help the parents to build a support system. We were taught to take the mother 4 weeks before the birth to say, start cooking food, start labeling it, putting it in the fridge. It's so important to regroup after the birth. And again, we're going to go back to the Southern Hemisphere now in saying, how do you engage sexually with your husband again after you've given birth? Because your body has changed. And if you've had a traumatic birth where you had to have an episiotomy, which is where they cut you in your vaginal area to let the baby come through, they've had to use forceps, it's very traumatic to birth. Not all births are like that, but 70% of the time there is trauma down there. And how do you get a woman back to the part where she feels confident enough without fear that it's going to be painful?
Or to the extent where there's no feeling anymore.
Yes.
Because that can also happen.
Yes, yeah. So one of the things we do at the practice is we call it the V shot.
And that stands for vaginal shot,
Vaginal shot. So it's a type of a vaginal rejuvenation without surgery. So the equipment that I've bought, the needleless mesojet therapy, has a protocol or a procedure called the V shot, where we can help a woman to get back her vaginal area to the way it was, or even better. And it's not only pertaining to women that have birthed, but as you say, a lot of time when you've had a baby, that is when the anatomy starts changing because of the trauma that's happened. So what does the injections actually do? First
I was
of
about
all,
to ask, you say back to or even
Yes,
better,
yes.
and there's no surgery involved?
no. So first of all, there's no needles. So it's non-invasive.
It's not painful?
It's not painful, and the serums that we use is homeopathic and 100% safe, reliable, effective. I always go back to those 3 words. We can go as far as fixing the outside, the color, the texture, the firmness. We can work on the inside of the labia, make it shrink back. Again, the color, the firmness, and then obviously the entrance of the vagina, the inside of the vaginal wall, lubrication, tighter, firmer, all using natural products on the body.
When saying that it's needleless and painless, then the question pops up. But how long is this going to take? Do I need to have this done on a regular basis?
All very good questions.
Is this a once-off?
Okay, so obviously we're not going to do it immediately after you've given birth, so we're going to allow your body to heal. The clients that I have done it on have been my clients for many years, so obviously there's a trust relationship. They are not shy or ashamed to be on my bed and allow me to do the procedure on them. The feedback that I'm getting is within 3 days after the procedure, there's more lubrication that the body is creating by itself. The partner of the lady says that it is definitely firmer. Even from the ladies' feedback, they are saying intimacy is more pleasurable. It's because of the lubrication and the muscle of the pelvic floor that's being injected with a product that's got natural growth factors in, which is all good for the body. And obviously, what I have found in the practice is it's not the men that is criticizing the anatomy, it's the woman.
Self-esteem plays a big role there, isn't it?
So they feel better. The woman feels better about the way her anatomy is now looking, which is then creating a more open relationship in the bedroom, saying, yes, put on the light or put on a candle. I'm not shy to show it to my husband anymore. So it's actually all but obviously if you don't feel good about yourself, it's going to affect your life. And if there's certain things we can do to help you and it's going to make you feel better about yourself, we are obviously going to do it in a safe, reliable way.
Let's talk about the procedure itself. How long does it take? What does it involve?
It takes about 30 minutes. You have to come for a consultation beforehand. There's a questionnaire we have to fill in. I put you on a probiotic with a supplement because your body has to be strong with immunity. Because remember, it is injections, even though there's not needles involved. Then after a week on the probiotic, you'll come and visit us for your for the session, which is about 30 minutes. You are covered up nicely. All protocol is followed. And the injections are given on the outside and the inside. Everything is sterilized, everything is hygienic, and afterwards I give you your aftercare products that you must apply.
I was about to ask, what happens directly after the procedure?
You get your protocol sheet with your aftercare and your treatments and products that you must use at home. And after 2-3 days, I'm getting fantastic feedback.
That soon?
Yes.
Okay. Is there bleeding involved?
No bleeding.
Nothing. So you don't need sanitary wear at all?
No. It's amazing. Amazing technology.
What's amazing is the look on your face where I can actually see how confident you are in helping people, because that's what you're all about.
Yes.
Empowering females and making sure everything runs smoothly.
Yeah, I think I'm going to make my number plate the vagina whisperer. Because of the passion that I have
for
the female wellness. Yeah, it's really hard when a woman comes into the practice and I can see how she has suffered and what she's been through, and there wasn't really any help for her. And in doing this amazing procedure, so much changes. And in the next part, we're going to talk about why it's important to be intimate with your partner, why sex is important, and why we need to get our heads right, and we need a bit of a hip stoicie at times to have a better intimate life and the benefits of intimacy in our lives.
So that's what we will be chatting again next week. You stay tuned.